Welcome to Pexitex. Understanding intention to pay, collection risks. The 5 important pillars of lending begin with capacity. Capacity is the ability to pay as the first principle of lending. Character is the second pillar. It is the willingness of intention as a collection risk principle. The third is capital, which is the total risk or capital as an asset risk principle. The fourth is collateral or the cover or asset as a liquidity risk principle. The fifth is covenants or the conditions to contain credit risk. The top 2 areas are more focused and important to understand credit risk principles. Collection risk is most ignored, though it turns into one of the most important pillars in case of borrower default. So what are the effects of ignoring collections risk? The definition of operational risk or OR as per BASEL II norms is the risk of loss resulting from inadequate or failed internal processes, people and systems or from external events. Collections is a part of operational risk and leads to reputation risk, which could be brand or regulatory in nature, opportunity risk, which is strategic, business related, and default risk, which is systemic and could lead to portfolio shrinkage. Collection risk, which involves ROD risk, being highly endogenous and idiosyncratic, are due to gaps in borrower profiling, lagging in negotiation skills, understanding of the legal framework, and fitment to collections as a job role for collections executives. So let's see them one by one. Gaps in BADS profiling, which is the 4 corners of collection risk, involve the factors of borrower mindset or behavioral pivot, assets and liabilities, dependence and responsibilities, skills and qualifications. The borrower mindset or behavioral pivot is covered by us by using the 4-quadrant approach of morality, responsibility, self-preservation, and law abidance. Measuring these can help us understand what the behavior or the mindset of the borrower is at the point of borrowing, and hence what are the chances or intention of the borrower which can help later in collections. Assets and liabilities at disbursal point is important equally to understand. What are the assets owned by the family based on liquidity class? What are the liabilities in the short and mid-term to fulfill by the borrower? Any specific asset or concurrent liability to produce, which may cause sharp drops. Dependencies and responsibilities are the third angle. How many family members are dependent across various age groups? What are the dependency levels with respect to health, education, well-being? Are there any special responsibilities or goals to pursue by the borrower? Say, for example, following education or having a daughter to wed off. Finally, skills and qualifications help us understand which skills are getting redundant at the workplace, which segment of borrowers are being affected thus, and which locations hence are more likely to face similar issues and hence need to be controlled. These could be very insightful to measure collections risk. Having a pre-disbursal customer profile helps collections not only ask the right questions but also mitigate in creating a borrower profile for any collections executive to interact at ease with the customer. Humans are more willing to listen to those who know more about them. We shall get a glimpse of this shortly when we discuss the negotiation skills angle. A lot of collections executives lack in negotiation skills. Here is a conversation. It is in Hindi as to how a recovery conversation is headed towards an untoward conflict and ego trip. The audio clip is in Hindi and covers a conversation started by a male recovery agent who hands over the phone to a probably senior female agent who begins by questioning the intention of the borrower. The borrower contests the claim by the agent as he has made 5 consecutive installments but hasn't paid the last 2 payments. Notice how the female agent never hesitates to be dominating, yet does not acknowledge the borrower's situation or being kind for the 5 payments made.
हाँ जी, पेमेंट नहीं कर रहे हैं आप और अपना जो नंबर है वो भी पिक नहीं कर रहे हैं।
हाँ, नहीं कर रहा हूँ, बताओ।
हाँ जी, तो आप बताइए पेमेंट करना है नहीं करना है आपको आज की डेट में, क्योंकि ये फाइल आज की डेट में एनपी में मूव हो जाएगा तो फिर आपको ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी सर।
भैया मना कर दिया ना, मेरे पास है ही नहीं पैसे, कहाँ से करूँगा।
मना कर दिया सर, मना तो कर दिया आपने, लेकिन बैंक ने आपको इतना लोन दिया ना टाइम पे, तो पेमेंट तो करना है आपको।
तो अब है ही नहीं ना भैया, जॉब पे दिया तो जॉब है ही नहीं अब।
हाँ जी, आपका एक तो ये नंबर। हेलो,
हाँ, क्या चीज
सर आप लोन की पेमेंट कह रहे हैं, आप लोन की पेमेंट क्यों नहीं करवा रहे पर्सनल लोन की?
मैंने आपको बोला ना, क्या किस बैंक से बोल रहे हैं आप, तो ये बताइए पहले।
मैं एक्सिस बैंक से बात कर रही हूँ, मैं एक्सिस बैंक से बात कर रही हूँ।
हाँ, तो बताइए फिर।
तो लोन की पेमेंट नहीं करवाई आपने?
नहीं तो नहीं है ना मैडम अभी।
तो अरेंज कीजिए ना, बैंक आपको थोड़ा ना बताएगा।
नहीं अरेंज नहीं हो पा रही है।
क्यों? पर्सनल खर्चे के लिए पैसे कहाँ से आ रहे हैं जो बैंक का पैसा आप नहीं दे रहे हो?
पर्सनल खर्चा हो ही नहीं रहा मैडम, घर पे बैठे हैं।
तो घर पे बैठे हो, लोन खाकर आप बैठे हो तो अरेंज करके दोगे ना कोई? यार आपने कहीं दान तो नहीं दिया इस लोन का?
दान दे दिया मैडम।
सही, आप दान देने वाले हो?
हाँ, अब कोई बात नहीं मैडम, क्या करें, अब मजबूरी है, क्या कर सकते हैं।
सर मजबूरी है, पेमेंट करवाई। 2 बिल है, 2 बिल नहीं हो रहा, 1 बिल की पेमेंट करवाए आप। ये 5 तारीख को आपको क्लियर करना था।
नहीं हो पाएगा अभी कुछ।
क्यों नहीं करेंगे सर?
आपको क्या करना है, इसीलिए फोन नहीं उठा रहा ना, बदतमीजी करनी कर लो।
अरे तो बदतमीजी तो शर्म आती है तो पेमेंट करवा दी। कौन बदतमीजी कर रहा? बैंक का
अरे
पैसा
आप
यूज
कर रहे हो।
हाँ तो करेंगे ना सर,
नहीं
आपको लग रहा है क्यों? देने की हिम्मत है नहीं?
आप कर लीजिए।
जब बजट नहीं होता तो खर्च क्यों करते हो? लेते क्यों लोन वगैरह?
तो देते क्यों भैया, किस बेस पे दिया था आपने लोन?
तुम्हें जिस बेस पे दिया था उधार दे, कहीं पे बैंक ने लिख कर दिया था रिटर्न की तुम पैसे मत देना।
हाँ, तो
कहीं पे लिख कर दिया था
कि ले लेगा तो ले लो भैया, मैं क्या करूँ बताओ।
अच्छा मैं क्या करूँ? खाने के टाइम में खा लिया पर्सन, 2 महीने से बैंक का होल्ड करके बैठे हो। थोड़ी शर्म नाम की चीज है आप में?
मेरे में तो नहीं है शर्म नाम की चीज, आप में है, आप दे दो मेरे बदले।
अरे तो मैंने तो दे रखे है ना पैसे आपको, तभी तो मैं सुना रही हूँ।
आपने दिए पैसे, बैंक ने दिए?
सर मैं बात कर रही हूँ तो मेरा ही पैसा है, मैं बात कर रही हूँ ना तो मेरा ही पैसा है।
तो मैडम नहीं है अभी मेरे पास, फिर आपका पैसा है तो
अरेंज करके दो ना, चंदा थोड़ी दिया, दान थोड़ी दिया।
नहीं हो रहा ना, अरेंज करके दिया भी आपको 5 महीने से।
हाँ
5 महीने से अरेंज करके ही दे रहे हैं आपको।
तो 5 महीने से तो देना, ये इंस्टॉलमेंट कोई क्रेडिट कार्ड थोड़े ना, लोन लिया आपने, लोन की EMI हर महीने किस्त भरनी है।
क्रेडिट कार्ड का भी नहीं हो पा रहा मैडम,
तो क्रेडिट कार्ड का दीजिए मत दीजिए वो आपकी प्रॉब्लम है। हमारे लोन का क्रेडिट कार्ड वाले आप पे दया कर रहे हैं तो क्रेडिट कार्ड वाले की प्रॉब्लम है। मैं थोड़ी ना दया कर रही हूँ आपको।
कोई दया नहीं कर रहा मैडम।
As you have heard, the discussion is actually going nowhere due to lack of negotiation skills. Understanding of the legal framework is the third and important aspect in collections risk. As you again repeatedly heard, that the understanding of the fact that legal frameworks support what is legally right, and multiple such conversations using threat, which exposes the negative bias, rather than legal rights, which is a positive reinforcement of legal duties for the borrower to feel the need to honor their obligations, often is found missing. Training on RBI and legal frameworks is rarely undertaken in a holistic manner to not only impart knowledge but also instill discipline in recovery conversations to make both parties agree to negotiate and close issues amicably. This becomes the third important point and is a part of induction and training. Finally, the fitment to collections as a job role is important to understand. Fitment to a job role involves skills or experience-based fitment, which means do they have the required skills or are they experienced in collections? Cognition or problem-solving fitment refers to their ability to reason in the right manner as far as the job role is concerned. Motivational or mental interest is their interest in a particular job role which does involve high amount of stress. Finally, the behavioral or competency requirement would include select competencies required for particular job roles based on both the job role and the organizational objectives. Our philosophy is that talent management combines the influence of learning, skills, and culture to deliver performance against talent metrics. At Pexitex, we have been helping organizations with psychological solutions to solve complex issues like people management or talent practices through fitment as a philosophy and application, using standard psychometric tools and inventories. Our intention to pay tool helps lending organizations not only with an alternate scoring model for lending, it acts as the behavioral pivot to define borrower propensity towards one of the 4 quadrants, thus aiding collections teams in developing a structured communications approach for recovery of loans. This tool, along with 2 additional parameters, completes the collection risk module. Collection of bad data, and B, a collection workshop designed for collections teams, which includes both negotiation and situation handling for recovery of loans while avoiding ROD risks. In the meantime, I hope you have not forgotten ROD risks. Collections is a part of operational risk and leads to reputation risk, opportunity risk, and default risk. These should be top of the mind for any collections executive. We look forward to your views and comments to further this conversation into an exciting engagement for improving your collection risk management. Write to us at score@pexitex.com. Thank you and have a nice day.